Hi, I'm Akemi, and welcome to my first trip to Death Valley. As I've learned, any trip to Death Valley is going to involve a lot of driving. It also involves alien landscapes and radical adventure. Once again, I was lucky enough to tag along with my friend Trung in his four-wheel drive high clearance vehicle with a snorkel that I love so much. Many of the roads in Death Valley require the high clearance at the very least, and the four-wheel drive is really helpful for the more difficult terrain. First fun stop in Death Valley was Fish Rocks. Second stop was the gas station because, trust me, you don't want to be stuck without gas in the middle of Death Valley. Thank you to Gaia Apps that guided us even though we had no cell phone service and no reception. And look at this vastness, it's amazing. To be honest, the Charcoal Kilns were kind of a weird place. I realized that they were built probably by Asian laborers. Both of my grandparents' families came out from Japan in the early 1900s to work on the railroads in Utah. This is our campsite.
Salmon, rice, and salad.
This morning we are headed to the sand dunes. At the entrance to this hike. After hiking Mosaic Canyon, we headed to the visitor center to stock up on water and take the iconic picture with the temperature. And then Titus Canyon Road.
Titus, a mining engineer who disappeared in the summer of 1905, a year in which 13 others died here from heat and dehydration. It was Death Valley's deadliest year. 13 people. A 27-mile one-way road starts 2 miles ahead in the park boundary, ending in the western end, blah, blah, blah. Using high clearance two-wheel drive vehicle. Oh my God, two-wheel drive, yeah. So right now it's on 36 or more. I'm gonna do it to 30.
This is the road to the racetrack. The racetrack was one of the places I most wanted to see in Death Valley. Part of the magic of these places is that they're so remote and hard to get to. The road to the racetrack has a lot of sharp rocks, and so it's advised to have a car that can handle it, and also to have all your water, all your food, and be prepared to wait in case you get a flat and need to wait for somebody to come out and find you. There's also no cell phone service, so you just have to pretty much wait for somebody. We camped out at the Homestake Dry Camp, which is just past the racetrack. Again, so isolated, we didn't see a single person the entire time we were there. Lipincott Pass is where the off-roading got real.
So weird that there's a sprinkler here in grass in the middle of the desert.
As we drove through the Joshua Tree Forest, the smoke from the wildfires were coming over into that side of the park. This was during September, the month when California was pretty much all on fire. This boxcar cabin is one of a number of little cabins that have been set up apparently historically throughout the ages so that people who are lost or needed a place to spend the night could have some shelter. The reason this place was more creepy is because this is where my mom and her family were interned during World War II. My mom was 2 years old, my grandma was 20, and my mom's little brother was a newborn. And my grandfather, being an American citizen, a Japanese American citizen, was enlisted in the army. My grandma ended up having my mom's youngest brother, the third brother, while she was in the camps, and she was raising all 3 kids by herself since her husband was out with the U.S. Army. As you can imagine, this has left a lasting effect on my family, and this is the first time that I had ever visited Manzanar.
This one said go over here. See, this one says go the other side. There's 2 ways. Let's go here first.
So the real reason we were headed up the 395 to Lone Pine was to check out this really cool mine that you can drive into. The road to find this mine was seriously one of the most tough off-road roads that I'd been on.
Now we're going in. Actually, my oil is overheating. Gotta let it rest a little bit. Something's wrong. My oil must be leaking or something.
Luckily, there was nothing really wrong with the car. We just needed to let her cool down. We had been driving hard all day with the air conditioner on full blast in super hot desert heat. The road back out was also an adventure, heading down the off-road challenging trail in the dark. We headed back into Death Valley and spent the night at Emigrant Campground, which is free and has running water and was beautiful. This is our last day in Death Valley, and we were going to go check out all the touristy options that you can get to without the need for an off-road vehicle. But wait, We had one more off-road adventure before we headed out to these touristy spots. And on this adventure, I got to drive. I noticed Trung looked a little worried in this picture, but don't worry, I did an amazing job and he actually fell asleep on the way back out, so woohoo, go me! After that awesome off-roading experience, I got back in the passenger side and we drove on. Death Valley is one of those places that I know I had an image in my head of what it would be like, and actually being here, it was, of course, completely different and exactly what I expected. The landscapes are so surreal and so unusual, and this is exactly why I love traveling in general. It's because it takes you out of the everyday, takes you out of the normal.
Looks like snow.
Just like that, the trip is over. Looking at all the places that we went and all of the places that we saw, it's mind-blowing. We fit so much into so few days. There was definitely way more to do, but we were both glad to get back into a shower after so many days in the heat. The desert is a place of extremes. Death Valley being on one end of the extreme and Vegas being on the other end of the extreme. And here is where I end up once again, ready to hop in a plane and go home after a fun night with friends. So once again, goodbye does not mean the end. I will definitely be back to Death Valley and check out even more of what this beautiful place has to offer. Follow me at akemisadventures.com, on Instagram at akemisadventures, and on YouTube.